Okay everyone, I'm going to do a short video on my African cichlid tank. The tank is 5 by 2 by 2. It has a 2.5 foot sump in underneath. It's running in around 560 litres. So this is the front view of the tank. The cabinet is made by myself out of white high gloss kitchen doors. One door recessed and the other two doors sitting on top. The light I'm running over the tank here, it was a Arcadia 250 watt halides. Basically I stripped down the halides out of it and put in LEDs and two 30 watt floodlight LEDs. The LEDs are 3 watts, there's 15 blue and 15 white. The lights broke down into 4 circuits, so we have the left floodlight, the right floodlight, the white LEDs and the royal blue LEDs. This is controlled from a Raspberry Pi and solenoids, which I'll show you once I get the cupboard doors and stuff off and get in, get a look at the filtration and stuff there. And one thing I'll take you over and let you have a wee look into the actual light itself. Still a bit of a prototype at the minute. A couple of cooling fans there, just cooling the voltage regulators going to the LEDs. Again, just the housing. That's the housing of the floodlight LEDs, and one on that side too. So you maybe get a bit of a picture of what the underside of it's like, but I know that the camera wouldn't be able to put up with the brightness. So I'll just take it down and let you see what the temperature is controlled with, and it's an ATC 800. Basically that's controlling one 500 watt heater and a 300 watt heater. So overall I have 800 watts heating this tank. The tank's probably slightly low there, I would think, for not long after doing a water change. It shouldn't take long to get back up to temperature. Just down below that there you can see an automatic top-up system as well there. Normally that would run into switch a small pump on. It would be in a barrel of water. I've used it for an alternative method, and I'll just show you that once we get inside the cabinet here and have a look. The other things we have here are this power head here, which is running about 10,000 litres an hour. And the other outlets you can see there is coming from my fluval FX6. This is also the inlet going to it. This has only been installed now just over a day, so we'll see how we get on with that there. It's not something that I wanted in my tank, but unfortunately I've just went ahead and put it in. Basically what I wanted to do was have nothing inside the tank, and that was the reason for putting the sumps in. But I just noticed my water wasn't 100%, so I've decided to go for this fluval FX6, and we'll just talk about that shortly. So basically what we have then on the side of the tank here, this was just an extra filter that was added to the tank. You can see the weir here where the water will travel down into the sump. I've added these sponges in here, and basically what's happening there then is the water is trickling down through the sponges and trickling through this biological media. As the sponges get dirty, this will start to build up, and eventually what will happen, this section here will fill up with water. This cup here goes down into the stock pipe, which is the return down into the sump, and I'll show you that there when we're down below here. So let's just, the rocks that I was using, I had from my previous reef tank. What I did there was I just held on to the rock, left it out the back for a few weeks, let it come back to white, and washed it out thoroughly. Got all the salt out of it before I put it into my freshwater tank. Worked out alright. The other bits and pieces you can see there are the skeletons from my old SPS corals that died. There's an LPS there too, green coral. The theme of the tank was going to be a dead reef. So as you can see there, everything bleached out, and we'll just go in underneath now and have a look. The cabinet doors are fully removable to allow access for cleaning and maintenance. So we'll just pop them off now. So this is just down into the cabinet itself then. As you can see, there's a few grand stuff there, a few small ones in this hatchery here that I actually found in the end chamber of my sump. I'm not sure what they even are, but I did have guppies in there cycling my tank, so there's a good chance that's what they are. Basically, this is the water then. This is our stock pipe coming down from above. The top tank will overflow down into the first section of the sump itself. It'll overflow from the first section into the second section, as you can see there, and it works its way down round the bottom of it, under the second baffle there. Works its way up through this biological media and overflows then into the last chamber. This part here, you can see, is part of the automatic top-up system. It's just a wee float switch there. Basically, if the tank got too high, the water level got too high, that will set off an alarm. The way I have this tank plumbed in, it can never get too high unless that outlet pipe gets blocked. I drilled the tank, making sure if you're going to drill the tank that it's not toughened glass, or it will just shatter. So the way I have this set up then is if the water level gets too high, it will overflow down and just go down and through the drain to the outside then, as you can see there. Another piece of kit you can see here is the RO unit. The RO unit is plumbed in with my automatic top-up system. So once the water level gets too low, this solenoid down in the corner here, if I'll just get the camera around to it, this solenoid here, there's two solenoids there. One of them solenoids is controlled by the automatic top-up system. Once the water level drops too low, the solenoid will open and allow the water to go around this 4-stage RO unit. Probably not required for African cichlids, but it makes my life a lot easier and I have the equipment lying about. The second solenoid then is controlled via the Raspberry Pi and an app on my phone. So it basically means that if I need to do a water change and I'm not about, I can turn on the relays. Here's the Raspberry Pi up in here. I can turn on one of the relays that will switch on the solenoid and allow me to do a water change. And basically once that solenoid's switched on, this water level in the sump will overflow. And I can do that there for as long as I wish as such. Probably the RO unit's rated for about 50 litres a day, so you could potentially change 50 litres a day then. The other thing I had to do there was I just stuck a wee sponge down inside there, just to stop any prior anything getting washed down there that end up in there. This here on the front of the RO unit is just a wee TDS meter. Basically it'll allow us to just read what the incoming main is, the TDS of the incoming main, which is about 152 there. And if I flick this across to out, it'll tell us what it is coming out of the unit. I'm not too sure if you can see there, but it's about 1 part per million there. Okay. It's running through a microfilter, a carbon filter, the RO membrane itself, and then through DI resin, and it works its way out this blue tube here. It works its way out that. The other orange one at the back there, as you can see, is the wastewater, which is just plumbed down into a gully outside then. Once the water starts coming through the RO unit, it trickles into the main tank, which is this little blue pipe here. So the next thing I want to talk about here is my fluval FX6. I just recently purchased this, and hoping to do a bit of a review on it in the future. But as I say, I just set this up yesterday. It was pretty easy to set up. Just getting good reviews online. The other thing I got with this was if you registered it, you got a free Hoover for the sand as such. So it was worth registering anyway. And if you go on to YouTube, and you can look up to see how that actually works, and it works through this pipe here, which is the drain coming out of the bottom. Basically you connect it up to it with another wee canister on it and a bag, and it lets you suck out, clean out the sand then. So looks good. I've never used it before, but it looks worthwhile. So happy enough with getting that too. So another piece of filtration then I'm using, it's a fluidized sand filter then, running off this Eheim return pump. One thing you need to watch out for with these is if the power goes off and comes back on again, you don't pump all the sand out of your sand filter into the main tank. Something you really want to avoid as such, especially if you've got nice coral sand up there. You don't really want to mix in brown. Basically this is just play sand out of the likes of Argus, and just give it a good thorough clean and put it in. One thing you could do to get round a power out and this pumping the sand out is you could add a RCD onto it, which basically means if the unit loses power, it won't come back on by itself. It's something you would use for like lawnmowers and stuff. I have one just here. So basically if that loses power, it won't come back on until it's reset manually. So that's one thing that will get you around that. The other thing I'm just running 2 T5 tubes in underneath here just to light that up. Another piece of kit that I had just lying about from keeping marine fish. So might as well use what you've got lying about before you go out and buy anything else. There's a large buoy air pump at the back there, if you can see it. Not overly impressed with that. Maybe look into getting something different in the future as such. So these two return pumps then are pumping the water from the sump up into the main tank, which is overflowing down over our weir, working our way down through a trickle filter, or alternatively coming down the stock pipe, which will again work its way down and into the first section here. So one of the main reasons for putting the sump into the tank again was to hide my heaters. As I mentioned before, I was trying to avoid having anything inside the tank to take away the look from the tank, but I've sacrificed that and I've added in this FX6, and as you can see in here, you can see the intake from it. Kind of a bit of a rush setting it up last night, so I'm sure there's a neater way that I could do that. Possibly put some ornaments or something in the corner to hide that. But at the minute, I'm not really happy with that there as such. So as I say, this tank now has been running for about 3 months, 4 months at the most. One of the most interesting things about it is that it's running off the Raspberry Pi and an app called Cayenne, which is super easy to work once you get your head around the wiring of it as such. I by no means come from a wiring or electrical background, so if I can do it, I'm sure anybody else can. Okay, the other thing I'll just talk to you about was when I was making the decision about the lights. Originally I wanted to run the lights off an Arduino through the PWM ports on the Arduino, so I could start off with the lights dull in the morning, working their way up to full brightness and back down then. Started to get a bit complicated because the Arduino couldn't deal with the power from the LEDs, and it meant running it through MOSFET transistors. So again, something I would need to do a bit of research in before I actually took the stab at it as such. But again, all the information's online, so if you were thinking about doing it, why not as such. So I'll just give you a closer look at the Raspberry Pi, just in case there's anybody out there who's never actually heard of one of these. And it's not a Pi that you eat as such, it's this little microcontroller here. Basically it will connect to your Wi-Fi in the house, and you can use it to switch these relays on here. This is an 8-way relay. At the minute I'm only using 5 of the relays. Again, four of them relays are controlling my light, and the last relay then is controlling the solenoid on the water main then. So that's basically it for my tank. So I'll do a update on it in the future, just to let you see how the cichlids are coming on. Not very big at the minute, but again, that's what I wanted to start off with, small fish, and let the filters progress with the fish as such. So over time, letting the filters mature as the fish grow. Another wee thing I just added in was I put this little light. It's just a circuit of LEDs, red, green, blue LEDs, and it lights up the back wall. Just gives a wee bit of depth to the tank as such. It's not great picked up on my phone here, but that's that as such. So that's my tank for now, and as I say, I'll do an updated video in the future. So if you like this video, leave a wee comment in below, and any tips or advice are always welcome. So thanks, bye.